Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Pune. I'm excited to share my research on the lottery as an alternative moral and economic community. Hang on, we're about to get lucky. But first, I have a shout out, one to my advisor, Alex, for the phenomenal care he took with this project and with me, and to my cohort, Yo-Yo, who volunteered to help with my podcast way back when I could not even turn the recorder on. So, okay, here we go. So some background. So when I refer to lottery tickets, I'm talking about the instant scratch-off tickets sold by New York State Lottery, not draw games like Lotto or Mega Millions. Currently, there are 87 different tickets ranging in price from $1 to $30. They've been around in New York since 1976. Last year, $4.1 billion worth were sold, and profits go to fund education in New York State. There are about 16,000 retailers, and they're sold in a variety of ways as shown here. As you see, they're riotous, hanging in strips like kites, trailing like the tails of luscious fruity beasts, grape and orange and green, pulsing Vegas. So I'm a lottery player, and when I came to Decrypt, I was thinking about the ticket as common denominator. In my neighborhood alone, I saw people of such diverse backgrounds and income levels buying and enjoying them. I was intrigued by the pull like magic of this quotidian object. But the thing about lottery, it's a hot button. There's a saying that the lottery is addictive, a tax on the poor, and the conversation often ends there. But that wasn't jiving with my experience, where lottery players are enriched and enchanted by the game, and my belief that money isn't at the top of the hierarchy, and the ticket doesn't care if you're rich or poor. But I didn't have a name for this lens. So yes, there are thinkers who shine a brighter light on gambling, something akin to religion. My main influence was Jackson Lears, an intellectual historian, who says that our attitudes about gambling are really about our attitudes about a culture of chance versus a culture of control. Culture of control is associated with logic, Protestant ethic, the cult of the individual, where you work hard and get money. A culture of chance sees chance as a sort of knowledge, a source of knowledge and a portal of possibility, a cosmic order with its own rituals and beliefs. So I dug into existing research and found studies showing actually that middle and upper income Americans do play the lottery just as much. The studies on scratch-off tickets were problematic. They weren't focused on regular players, and another assumed that the games did not require specific knowledge. So I got kind of mad and wrote a manifesto that became the core of my thesis. So what if this is a vibrant community that runs on potential and loss and potential? A community that looks into a funhouse mirror, reflecting the current effed up socioeconomic structure, counts their blessings and keeps on scratching. And so this is where it all happens. This is Lucky News, one of 5,000 retailers in New York City, and also the scene of much of my field research. My podcast features two newbies, Yo-Yo, of which is one, who had never bought a ticket, and they executed tips provided by a seasoned player. They both found the directions and display confusing. And this idea of confusion came up a lot in interviews I did with art director and educator Angela Rikers. She dissected a number of tickets and noted that everything they were doing in the design was what design students are taught not to do. And she concluded that this kitchen sink design is probably intentional to keep people's interest. So here's the front and back of a cash word. And you can see the amount and variety of text on just the back alone. 2 UPC codes, directions, a form. But design functions differently for a regular player who is not confused by the tickets and knows their hidden codes and delights in the words that appear randomly in cash word and the fun surprises. Look at the first 2 letters scratched in the card on the right. It's like a little hug. And so an important resource for me was a private Facebook group. This was a safe space where players shared freely, and I began to see patterns. And I saw there were two distinct groups in this community. I call them ritualists and strategists. Ritualists are about liminality, that space that anthropologist Victor Turner calls a time of enchantment, when anything might, even should happen. Imagine that unscratched ticket and the air surrounding it's full of potency and potentiality. Some players prolong this. If they know they've matched a winning number, they wait an hour, even days, to scratch off the area covering their prize. Or they'll scratch on a quiet Sunday morning after dinner. And then some players will keep little pouches holding tickets waiting to be cashed, a certain amount of money. And the idea is not to win as much as it is to break even. So the amount in the pouch stays the same. The magic is in the playing. So I am a ritualist, and the most complex ritual I partook was repeated daily on a monthly cycle for 15 years with my partner, my person, Sal. Every day we bought tickets. He kept a running tally, and we cashed in the winners and paid our rent with it. So I call it cash box. And rituals are quirky and personal and very delicate. So let me explain this one to you. Cashbox opens with the sun rising over the East River and ends approximately 4 weeks later. Its many parts can be broken down like this. Things shown. When I start to play a new cash word, Sal gets up from his chair and watches over my shoulder. He notes any animal words, laughs if I get HIPPO. Both of us call out the letters as I scratch them. Incanted necklaces of A, or I, and always so many E's, 9, 10, sometimes 11. These pre-speech eeks, the most mesmerizing of all. Things scratched, things revealed, things cashed or trashed. Cashbox involved procuring money, but it was not about money. Now, this is where a ritual differs from a strategy. Cashbox was the losingest thing we ever did, and we kept doing it because it was like saying again and again, I'd rather lose money than lose you. So in contrast, there are players who see scratch-off tickets as a way to make money. New York State Lottery pays back 55% in winnings of what they make. So for other states, it's up to 70%. So the lottery is seen as an unfair system. And these players have specific and proven strategies to beat it. So the strategist will buy an entire pack of ticket, $1,500. They know to look on the back of ticket for the official odds of winning. And then they chase the win by purchasing a minimum of tickets based on those odds. So if they're 1 in 4, they'll buy 4 tickets. Some even look in the trash for losers and they'll buy the next one. So it can pay off if it's a $30 ticket, because that game has lots of $1,000 winners. So players also now have YouTube channels where they'll host scratch-off sessions and split the profits. There's something exciting about this, kind of like they've somehow legalized gambling. So in these videos, you're basically just watching a pair of hands scratching tickets along with 250 others. And it's a close-up on the tickets with the host narrating the action, sometimes for 2 hours. So this image is from the session that Lily McAvoy of the Scratch Squad, she's scratching a $1,000 book of tickets that subscribers chipped in for. So viewers might be fooled because she engages in many rituals. She talks to the ticket, she rings a bell with every winner. But in the end, Lily has 3,000 subscribers, 3 tiers of monthly membership. She's the one who announces without apology that the $1,000 book yielded only 700 in winners while promoting her Scratch Squad hoodies and thongs. So to enter into the private Facebook group, one answers the question, why do you like playing? So for me, I love to touch and look at the cards, especially the crossword style games, and I compare them to runes used to divine the future. Imagine a pink cash word back then. Each of the letters a rune, each word on your crossword grid an answer to one of life's questions. Will I win and lose love? Will I find work? How can I feed my family? Hold the cash word and feel the tiniest jabs when you run your fingers along the top and bottom edges where it is perforated, the place where it connects to the cash word above and after. Have you ever touched the long edge? The sides are perforated too. And you imagine this cash word, one patch in a magic carpet. The words on number 221 talking to numbers 220 and 222, above and below and side to side, each letter twinkling when scratched. The words and lights, your entire party has arrived. Not just one cash word, cash world. So thank you so much for listening. I really want to get this research out there because there's not a lot, if any, critical discussion on scratch-off tickets. I'm also planning on ramping up my scratch-off art, which I install in public spaces, and I'd love to do a wearable ticket suit inspired by the super dress and Nick Cave sound suits. I also want to do a digital archive for lottery tickets and continue to write about design. I'm open to any collaborations, and if you've never scratched a ticket, I will get you hooked up in the name of research. So it's pdracker@sva.edu, pdracker@sva.edu. And thank you.